Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, guess what? We are here.
We're here
Kai is our host today.
for not very long.
How much time you got?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. Kai is going to be here for 4 minutes. I couldn't pass up 4 minutes. Okay. I had to take what I could get. And I just barely see, normally I do this 5.
Mm-hmm.
I just barely 15 minutes ago said, hey, I got to come on early. I am so sorry. So many of you, my regulars, are not going to be here. And you're going to come on at 5 and say, what happened? And I'm really sorry. I couldn't help it. Okay. I couldn't help it. Hey, Teresa, I wish it was a baseball game. Teresa says, oh, it's one of those darn baseball games.
I'm sorry
whoop,
to tell
whoop.
you that I've
You know
had
what? Talk for a minute.
Please. She's having an out-of-body experience, kind of sort of called. She's hearing herself on her phone.
Hey, what happens is I haven't done it this way in a long time, so I forgot what I have to do. There are just certain things you have to do. And I blew it. I'm kind of rushed too. Okay, Kaius, tell us about you before you have to leave in 4 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Well, I'm watching the clock up there.
Well,
I'm
watching the clock right here. I say where it says the time.
3.5.
Okay.
Okay, tell us
about what?
About you.
I just made bread.
You made bread. Tell us about your bread experience.
Oh man. So she makes bread, and she makes pretty good bread. And when I moved in, I was like, I don't want to spend money on bread every week. I'm going to see if she wants to teach me how to make bread. So I said, hey, Barb, you should teach me how to make bread. She said, yeah, sure, let's pick a day. And then when I was working for my mom, I got on Google and I said, easy bread recipes. And I Googled it. And there was one that pulled up and I said, that looks good. So I went home that same night and I made it without her.
I felt so bad. I felt totally
and it's shafted. Really good. It's really
it's artisan bread. I don't do artisan. I just do straight bread.
So now I have a pretty solid bread recipe that I make like twice a week.
It is so good. It's in a round loaf. And so that means it's got a lot of edges. I love the edges. Yeah, my mom They're the best. Edges. We're going to have to fight.
My mom likes the edges.
I know. We're going to have to fight.
But then I think this next week I'm going to try doing a garlic cheddar because I like cheddar bread a lot. Yeah, that's my bread.
Hey, Deidre's on, Cheryl and Teresa, thank you so much for coming back. And I wanted Kai to be here. I want you to see how cute she is. First of all, look at this hair. Is that to die for?
I actually did it today. I don't usually have bangs. I have kind of a shag haircut, but I was like, I'm feeling bangs today. So now I look like Velma.
Oh, I think you look so cute. And the glasses, those are my glasses. I wear them in pink. I got them.
They're actually mine.
I know, and they're so cute. They are so cute. All right, then you have. Do you mind standing and letting them see? Oh, Grandma!
The perks of working in retail.
Look how cute! Oh, they can't even see that. Let me show them down. Look how cute that is.
It's shorts.
It is shorts, but it's a cute little skirt.
These are my nice pajamas.
But you bought them at where you work.
I bought them at where I work for $5. They were on clearance.
Well, that is stinking cute. Dang cute. What can I say? Well, Kaya, do we have?
Speaking of work,
she has to go. I'm so sorry. Will you shut the door on your way out?
Yeah, just for you.
Don't let it hit you.
Okay. My butt's not that big.
Goodbye. Hey, I had to bring her on. She is so stinking cute, and she is a trendsetter. Let me tell you. One time she came to an activity that we had, and she had multicolored lipstick on. I'm thinking, Kaya, what are you doing? But it was like in stripes. I'm thinking, well, okay. But she was only 14 or 15 or something. She could get away with it. But she is so, so cute. I'm really lucky to have her. Yeah, we just had something come up, and I have to run, and doesn't make me happy. I wish I didn't have to, but I do. Okay. All right. Teresa, when you say with you guys, what does that mean? Oh, where does Kaya work? She works at Bliss in the mall. I have not even been to where she works yet, but I believe it's just on the west side as you go in the doors, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to go in and see her one day since I'll get to that later. And then she also works for her mom. Her mom is so talented. Her mom does web design and logos, and she works with a lot of really big companies. She is amazing. I have the most talented kids. I'm sure you guys do too, but I just look at what they can do and I'm thinking, really? I can barely. Okay, did I add to this? Did I help them out? Yes. When they were young and they wanted to do something, I said, let's do it. I didn't know how to do it, but I said, let's do it. If you want to do that, if that's your passion, then let's go for it. So I had 3 boys. In fact, most of my boys were involved in this at one point that wanted to make films. I mean, Rhett bought his first camera when he was 12. He had to borrow the money for it because I thought, I'm not sure I want to invest that much money in some little whim you have. So I figured if he borrowed the money, then it would be a commitment. So he's 12. He borrows the money to buy a movie camera. And it's all behind him now. That's all that they do. There's Rhett and Burke and Tay. And you have met all of them now because I had Rhett and Burke at Yellowstone with me and I introduced you to them. And I says, come on, I'm going to do a live. And they says, no. And I said, yes. I should have reminded them about all the times that I did things for them, right? I didn't. Anyway, so when they were 12 and Burke would have been 11, they started making movies. I still have some of those movies and they are so adorable. And then they got into making explosions, fireballs, and they thought that was cool. So they would fill a sock with sand. So I didn't know all the details. Okay, I was here. They didn't do this behind our back or anything, but I didn't know all the details. They would make fireballs out of a sock, an old sock, sometimes probably new. They would fill it with sand, so there's a little ball of sand at the bottom, and then they would dip it in gas. I know, you know where I'm going. And they would throw it over the shed, and then the one on the other side of the shed would be filming this fireball coming down. Okay? Can you imagine what happened next? One of those fireballs landed on Rhett's back. Well, he's still filming. And they came around to see what kind of a shot he got. And he's on fire. He didn't even know it. And so they're trying to put the fire out. What kind of a mother am I? Tell me, what kind of a mother am I? But I encourage them to go for their passion. And now they're encouraging me to go for my passion. And I have to say, I appreciate all of you out there that allow me to go for my passion because this is it. I love this. I love talking with you. I love working with you. I love being with you guys. I love showing you something that I learned. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So there you have it. So knowing that my 3 boys are filmmakers, you know that they are the ones that have helped me with my camera setup and my lighting setup. I don't always know how to run it if they're not here, but we're trying. We're doing it. What else can I tell you? Oh, okay. A couple of things. Now, I know that we're early today, and I apologize. I'm going to continue apologizing forever, but I figure that the ones that would normally watch at 5, they can still watch at 5. It'll still be here. And the ones that normally watch later, the recorded part, they'll kind of watch it later. I'm really sorry. I just didn't want to go another week because last week I was in Yellowstone. Oh, I have to tell you one other thing. Speaking of the little trips I've been on, you know, we went to Disneyland with Rhett and his family, cute little girls that they have, beautiful little girls. And then within a week later, I said, okay, we're going to Yellowstone. So Rhett packed up his sweet little family again and went to Yellowstone with us. We had Burke there. We had Nicole with her 2 daughters, Kaya and Sophie. We had Britt with Ethan, Seth, and Roxy. And did I mention Burke? I think I mentioned them all. We had Nicole and Rhett and Burke and Britt. Tay couldn't come because his wife has a new job, just started a new job. They couldn't take the time off. And Zach is traveling with his family in St. Louis. Kelly had work to do here in the valley. He works with Larry in construction, and Larry was sick. And Chad lives in Arizona. Well, speaking of all of that, Larry and I came home from Disneyland and we were both sick. So it happened to be that we had to go to the doctor one day. And we mentioned the fact that we came home from Disneyland sick. And I said, I took a COVID test. I came back negative. And he says, oh, it was a false negative. I'm sorry. You had COVID. So Larry and I have both been battling COVID and we're still coughing. So I apologize when I have to cough on air. I sometimes can't help it. And then, so we were in Disneyland. All of that, to go back to this one story, I told you about how the bird pooped in my food, right? Well, this was another time at Disney World when Rhett, who was 9, so I had my whole family there in Disney World when Rhett was 9. That was a lot of people to keep track of. And we would go, when you go to Disneyland or Disney World with my husband, you are there when the sun comes up and you are there when the park closes down. Okay, that's how long he is going to get his money's worth. And we run from ride to ride because that's why he's there. Okay, so that happens every single time. So this particular time when Rhett was 9, I'm keep telling you he was only 9 because we talked about it this last time when we were in Disneyland. And we were there watching the fireworks. I mean, I remember we were sitting and watching something happening in Disney World. This was a few years ago. But, you know, Disney World is a much bigger place than Disneyland. And Rhett was 9. Well, just as he wanted to get a better look or get a picture of something or something, so he stood up and was walking away from us when the lights went out. Disneyland was now closed. Everything was over and the lights went out. Well, there were 11 of us and 10 of us were there. One of them wandered off. We didn't know where he was. And when you have zillions of people clamoring to get out of the park and you're trying to move between them to find this one little kid that you lost, it's crazy. Do you know what a mom goes through during that? Moms are kind of a different breed, don't you think? I mean, we're all moms, right? I was not a happy mom. And I was running. I says, Red, Red. And I was calling his name. That was before cell phones. It was before. And I had 6 other kids I was trying to keep track of. And I couldn't find Rhett. And I was in such a panic. And he remembers that day. He remembers being lost. And he remembers not knowing what to do. And because we talked about this. Anyway, all I can tell you is that we did find him. He is back in the crowd. He's with us. But it was really a scary, scary time. Okay, that's not happened to any of you guys, has it? Apparently not. Nobody's even making comment on it. Oh, well. All right, so talking about Disneyland, and I told you, I think on Monday when we had our project on the 10s, but I almost said the 9s. It was actually the 11th. I told you that I pet a bear, and I would show you the picture. Well, I'm about to pull that picture out. Oh, that's a good picture. Ah, there you go. I'm sorry. Having to move this up a little bit kind of threw me off. But oh, there it is. Are you guys still there? You lost your 4-year-old in Disneyland, Teresa? Oh my heck. That is scary. I mean, when I told the doctor we'd been at Disneyland, he says, oh yeah, you had COVID. And that all those people, and to lose a 4-year-old with all those people, crazy. All right. I'm going to show this to you. This is the picture in Yellowstone when I was probably 15. I can't imagine doing this at 15. Did I have no brains? But I want you to notice that that is my little brother standing next to me. And he was probably 5 or 6, which is why I'm thinking I was about 15. And right there, there was a bear standing up to the car. If you guys remember Yellowstone, that this happened a lot. The bears would follow the cars and you'd always stop and you would let the bear come up to you and you would feed it or look at it or it'd slobber on the window and you'd love it. Well, that is done me. And I remember the bear, he's very coarse. They're not soft and squishy like you'd think they'd be. But, I want you to look in that picture. You can barely see. Right over here, there's other people. People are not even concerned that there's a bear right there. Is that crazy? There's other people out of their cars, so maybe I wasn't so stupid. I don't know. So have y'all been to Yellowstone? I hope you have. My phone is not updating, so I'm not getting all your comments in real time, so I apologize for that. Okay, we're on early. Does anybody want to talk about anything? I was going to make this mainly a question and answer moment, but because I had to move it up, that wouldn't be very fair, would it? All right. Janet asked me if I would show the quilts that you guys made for me when I had my knees done. My knees are great, by the way. They are wonderful. I love them. I love my knees. I wouldn't trade them for anything. And now all the other parts are kind of starting to fall apart. But she wanted to see the quilt. She didn't think she saw the quilt. So I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to probably stand up so that you can see it a little bit better. And I'm just going to kind of move it along here. And isn't that great? All done in those beautiful red, white, and blue. I'm going to scan to the other side. She might be looking for something. Oh, I got my Rod Stewart on. Isn't that pretty? I am so lucky to have people that care about me enough that they want to make a quilt for me. My grandma lived across the street from us when we were growing up, and she was a big quilter. And every time you'd go to her house, she'd say, "Oh, come see the new quilt top I made." And we all just, "Oh, not again." Now I'm that way. And anyway, she passed away when she was about 96, somewhere in there. And she gave everybody a quilt but me. I mean, well, I'm sure there's others that didn't. We had a lot of posterity, right? And I did not get one. My sister got one, and she brought it to me and asked me to quilt it for her. And I have to say, I'm really kind of glad I didn't. You saw the one I did for my aunt a few months ago, and it was not really that pretty, but she would make it out of whatever scraps she could find. And sometimes it was an old shirt or an old dress or something, and she would make the quilts out of it. And so I feel very honored to have worked on that quilt. And I still have the ones that my sister gave me to quilt for her. I haven't done it yet. I've had them for a couple of years. So I think, oh, I don't know quite how I want to do that. So I haven't done it. But they are polyester knit 4-inch squares. Just 4-inch squares, polyester knit. That was kind of the big thing one day. It's not the big thing anymore, thank goodness. And we have new fun things to do. And I have promised you so many things and have a hard time getting it done because I'm only one person, right? And so it's a little crazy. But I have to tell you, look what I have all done. This class is almost ready to be up on the website, but it is coming very soon. Do you remember those Oreo sacks that we talked about a month or so ago? I have taken that and turned it into a tote bag. So this class, this is going to be one class together. So you'll get 2 projects in one class. So you'll learn how to make the tote bag. You'll learn how to make a candy bag, and it can be any candy. It doesn't have to be this. And this doesn't even have to be out of an Oreo bag. That's what I made this one out. It doesn't mean you have to, because I was making it. I thought this would be great. Make it out of Laffy Taffy wrappers. Why not? make it out of Starburst wrappers. I mean, normally you've got those little wrappers and you really can't do a lot with the wrapper, right? You can turn it into a tote. If somebody you know loves Starburst or anything that has any kind of a wrapper, it doesn't have to be big like this. It can be small little pieces, and I will show you how to put that together, okay? Gonna be fun. And you could even, when I started thinking about the Laffy Taffy, wouldn't that be fun to have all those Laffy Taffies on there and say, here, I got a joke for today. What, whatever. I love that idea. Okay, maybe I should do a Laffy Taffy instead. I don't know. Hey, who just joined? I can't tell who you are because it's not going to update over here. Someone said I just joined. Thank you for joining. I know we're early. I'm sorry. My fault. Actually, it's not my fault. Somebody else's fault. But we'll make it work. Okay, I can't tell you who you are that just joined. I'm sorry. Unless you give a StreamYard permission to use your name, type in your name. I want to know who you are because I don't know. There's very few of us here today. I apologize. I'm sorry, but I'm so glad you're here. So glad. And I have to tell you that, yes, I'm getting a few things done here and there. I'm working hard to get a lot of things done. Oh, your name doesn't show. I'm sorry. It doesn't show. And I can't pull it up over here either. I don't know why. Nothing is working for me today. Maybe it's saying, I know you're too early and you shouldn't be on here. I'm sorry. It doesn't show. What was I going to say? Oh, all these things I've been telling you, we'll have it up soon. We'll have it up soon. I got that one done. It's going to be up very soon. We're just waiting for some particulars to go through. It should be up maybe by tomorrow. And I will be having the Serger class. Oh, Barbara is here. You like the clips? Thank you. I love doing those clips. I love doing them. And I keep thinking in the middle of the night, I think, oh, I can tell you about this. And there's another clip I want to do very soon for you. I haven't got it ready yet. I mean, well, I have to have somebody help me. I want to do the ruffling foot. Have you guys seen the ruffling foot? I'm actually going to do a whole class on all the feet, but it's so fun to pull one out at a time and to show you what it can do. I'm not necessarily will I show you how to do it because there won't be time, but I can show you what it can do, which makes it kind of fun. StreamYard is not connecting. We'll try another time. Hi, Linda. I am glad you're here. We've known Linda for a really long time. Linda Judy. Yep, she's been here for a really long time. Okay, let me tell you what I'm going to show you today. And as I started working with this, I started to come up with other ideas, and I was kind of throwing it together pretty quick because I think, I want to do this. I want to do that. Even though a lot of times I already have the idea of what I'm going to do, I'm kind of a last minute thinker. I have it all planned out because I like to plan. I like to write it down. I have a list for everything. But then I change. I think, oh, I want to do this. And because I say, I want to do this, I have to really hurry to put it together. Lizette, here for the first time. Thank you and welcome. Take a deep breath. That's what I say. Take a deep breath. It's all going to work out. Yes, it's all going to work out. It's not working out on my phone today. It is working out on my computer. So we'll see how that works. Okay, the thing I want to show you today is Chenilling. Has anybody done Chenille? Hi, Jill. Jill is new also. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, Jill. So glad you're here. Has anybody done Chenilling before? Am I going to be tooting my horn on something that you've already done? You don't want to know anything more about? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do Chenille. You can get the Chenille ribbon, which is wonderful. In fact, I really like it, but you wouldn't do a whole quilt in it. All right, I'm going to show you something. You can do a whole quilt or a hot pad or a table topper. Anything we ever talk about works for all of those things. I mean, a table topper is just a mini quilt, right? Barbara said she's never heard of it. All right, so I'm going to show you one way to do chenilling. We're not going to do the chenille ribbon. We're going to do chenilling. All right, I did this, and I did it in, oh, you can see Rod Stewart. How is he doing today? I don't know. All right, so this is going to be done with flannels. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. I know you can do it with regular cotton, but I have just layered. I just got some scrap flannel here. You can see that it's not even the same size as the other piece. It's just scraps. But I did a whole baby quilt. I'll tell you, it was so cute. I did 1.25 yards, and I had 6 layers of flannel, 1.25 yards. Now that is kind of expensive when you think about buying 6 layers of fabric, and all you're going to do is sew it together. So what you would do is you'd have the first layer would be facing right side out. So this one I actually put on wrong, but I wasn't doing it for a quilt. I just wanted to get 6 layers together. So the first layer would be facing this direction, because you want to have a good side, and then you want to have the side you're working with. You don't want to, it's like the back of your quilt. So you want to have the good layer sticking out there. All right. And then I went about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch, and I just sewed all those layers together. And yes, they're going to shift. You've got to be really careful, because you don't want to end up with a twist in your quilt if you're doing a large project. But think of what you could do with this as I talk, because it's amazing. All right, so you're going to do this channel quilting all the way down. And what's nice is that you don't need your quilt guide for this. If you put your needle in the far left-hand position, you could actually use the edge of your foot as your guide. Okay, let that sink in just a little minute. So I was stitching along here in my left-hand position, and my foot was guiding me right along there. So my stitching is pretty straight, and I'm doing about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch wide stitches between them. 3/8 to a 1/2 inch right there. I will get my little measurer out here, and you can kind of see that that's about how wide it is. So you can get a maybe that's about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch. Some perspective there. All right, once I get all my layers sewn down, now remember, this layer is going to face this way, but all of the other layers are going to face up. And the reason I have gotten 2 different colors here is that I want you to see what it looked like with more layers as opposed to one less layer. But I also wanted you to realize that you could do a design on your quilt. So if you wanted to make a heart in the center of the quilt, then the top layer is going to be just a heart, and you'll cut that heart out, place it in the center of your quilt, and then still do your channel stitching all the way down. I have pre-cut some of these because I want you to see how they're cut. Can y'all see that pretty good? Have I got a good, I just want to make sure you can see it. I have a chenille cutter right here. You don't have to have a chenille cutter, but as you can see, this is nothing more than a rotary cutter that I can lock the blade down and see what it does. It's got a little guard under there. And the reason it has that guard is because remember that piece of fabric you have facing the other direction? If I went along here and cut these channels and just cut them like that, it's going to cut it off. I don't want to cut it off. I want to leave this one intact. Okay? And I'll take my channel cutter, and it does have that little guard, so that's going to protect that bottom layer. And I'm going to, let me show you how I've done that. So I've got this one facing right here. I'm going to put that right in there. And I'm just with my blade. And by the way, if you're having trouble getting this started, just take your snips and just snip a little bit into there. And then put your chenille cutter in there. And by the way, if you get these stitches too close together, you're going to struggle cutting them. Okay? Sometimes it's a little hard to get a hold of it too, by the way. All I'm doing is saying by the way, because I guess there's lots of by the ways. So I'm going to slide that in there just a little further, because I need to, okay, this is like slicing fresh bread, like we've talked about, and putting fresh hot butter on it. Look at that. Now, I don't have to worry because I am not cutting the underside piece. I am sliding through that. Do you see how that worked? That is so slick. And look right there, it cut everything but that lower piece of fabric. Okay? I'm going to do that again just because it's so fun to do. And this one, because my underneath layer is in there quite a ways, is going to be a pain. So my layers don't match up. But you can see now that there's my very bottom layer right there. I'm going to take this. Once you get it started, I have to get it started. Oh my heck. This is so slick. There I go. Now, when I did my full size baby quilt, I did not have a chenille cutter. I wished I would have, because here's another way you can do it. I can just take my scissors. And like I said, that bottom, it's a disadvantage not to have that bottom piece as big as the rest. And I can go along here like this. The only problem is here, sometimes you can accidentally snip the underside one. Okay, there, I got it. Oh, I wish I didn't have that one under there so short. Oh, I'll just finish it with my scissors. As you can see that your hand would get really tired of snip, snip, snip. And it doesn't go as straight. And you can see that right there. I cut a little crooked, but if I'm doing this, I'm just sliding along like that. It's not going to be crooked. Okay, that's the first step. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, no questions. You guys are so good today. All right, let me go to the next step. This is another tool that I totally love. And I'm a tool girl, okay? If I see a tool I like it, if it's going to save me time and money, even though I have to buy it, I'm going to buy it because I love having my time saved. This has a little guard on it. See, I can make it go down and it'll stay down. I don't have to squeeze it the whole time. I just pop it up. And there's a lot of different kinds that you can buy. All right, this is another tool I like. This is a Chenille brush. You can also get them. They look like a toothbrush, but they're wire bristles. Or you can use a toothbrush. All right, if you've got a real stiff toothbrush, you could use a toothbrush, but look at what it does. All I'm going to do is I'm going to brush this. And don't accidentally get your finger because it will draw the blood. If you did not want to chenille it all like this, you could shake it really hard and stick it in the washer and dryer, and you're going to have a lot of fuzz collected, but that is another way to do it. But look at that. Isn't that fun? And let me see how many layers I have there. I only have 3 layers on this right here. I have 4 layers over here. And I have done as many as 6 layers before. Oh, dang, I really like this. How fun. This is really the fast and quick and easy way to do it. Because if you have to wash and dry it, I tell you, that's not the fun part for me. Oh my, look at that. Don't poke yourself. Oh, look at that. Can you imagine this little baby wrapping up in a blanket, full on with chenilling? That is so soft. That is just cool. I like that. All right, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Somebody said that. That is the best chenille tool. You must have one. If you say that's the best, you must have one because if you don't have it, you don't realize how wonderful it is. Right? And I'm not getting your comments at all. I am sorry. I'm not catching anything. Okay, there is my chenilling. You can see how soft and fuzzy that is. A hot pad. In fact, we are going to do a project coming up in one of our classes where we do chenilling because I think it's that fun. And maybe once you do it, you think, oh, look what I can do with that. And the whole quilt doesn't have to be done with this if you don't want it to. If you just want a flower done in a chenille and that's all you want to do is a flower on a pillow, you could do it. See how easy that would be to do? Oh, I can see this coming in so many different ways. Yep, Linda, I do. Thank you for putting your name on, Linda. I you sewed across an X across the square. I don't know quite what you do. If you're talking about a rag quilt where you rag the edges, that's great too. And this tool would come in handy. Again, notice how dirty it is now because I just pulled all that stuff apart. Doing those rag quilts. Have you guys done rag quilts? Do you want to learn how to do that? Maybe next week I will show you an example of how to do a rag quilt. They are fun. I tell you, that's when hands are really tired, because you had a lot of clipping to do. Okay, we'll do that next week. We'll go to rag quilts. All right. That will be fun. Does anybody have any questions, comments, salutations? uh, I'm not playing any, so I have no idea. Guys have comments. I will be watching. Even if you have comments, them because I'd love to. And next week's rag quilts. I have to say, if you know numbers are God, stop my nose. Now I'm going to smell all night. Our numbers are climbing. I appreciate that so much. And I know that it's because so many of you have been adding friends. So here is my deal. I have a special reward in mind for anyone that can add 10 people to this chat, the group, this group we have. If you can add 10 people in next week, then there is in store for you. And I can't wait to tell you what it is, but I'm not going to tell you now. Oh, that's going to be in my nose all the time. So what how to do that is you just and really need a friend and not somebody who cleans pools, right? They can't clean pools. No interest in so whatever. And then qualifying person. Just the people in your neighborhood, then that makes it maybe not a qualifying person. I'm at a stoplight, so I can't. You're still at a stoplight? I'm just so glad, and I want to hear your story, okay? So if you 10 people over the next week, how we can get over, all right? And it will tell me right at the top that this was invited by Teresa Johnson, excuse me. I don't know you by Corbridge. It just pops your name that way. And this person was invited by Teresa Johnson. I say, oh, Teresa, I'm going to mark you down with a mark. All right. And then we're going to see how far we go. And I'm going to keep, okay? And should we give it 2 weeks? Let's give it 2 weeks. So that makes it, I don't have my calendar right in front of me. Let me see what it does. Oh, stop it, phone. Do you guys talk to your phones? I do all the time. I talk to everything. I talk to my lawnmower. Okay, today's the 14th, the 28th. On July 28th at our buddy chat, I'm going to announce winners and what you win. If you can invite 10 people, then you will get a prize. We're going to bump this up over the next 100, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it, because the more people we can hang out with, the better it is. We don't have to, I mean, and I'm going to love it. Okay, the 28th, and I think I'm going to be here. Why not, right? I will be in Rome, not going to Rome, not this time. I will later. All right, so we learned about chenilling. Okay, we're going to do a project on chenilling. Show me a project that you did with chenille in it. I would love to see it. I know that my projects that I've done with chenille, I've already given them away. So I don't have any in my house, which is why we did this little one today. But chenilling is fun. And we're going to do some other projects. I've got something in mind. I can't wait. Right. And know that this is going to go live very soon. And I will probably about this live. I submitted all my work for it and that go very good. So we have lots of fun things coming up, and I've got other so excited. I get excited when I got a new project. All right. But you have to do such. I have to take a deep breath and just a little. Last Saturday, I did 8 quilts. I've got one was under the stack, and my daughter came to pick him up. Oh, there's one more. I says, I didn't see it. I got one more due. So I'm going to get that one done the next couple of days. And I want to share with you. Can't wait. Serger class ready very soon, which I'm excited to share with all of you too. I love those sergers. Love them. All right. I am not getting any more questions, but I will be waiting. So take it. Do something make you and something somebody else that makes them happy. If you do that, how happy the world's going to be. If we do something that makes somebody else happy, if we feel happy inside, right? Take a deep breath. Enjoy your Thursday. And please talk to me. I love that contest we have going on. You've got people the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be watching. I'm back. I'm going to know. All right. Thank you so much. I'm signing off. Okay. Bye-bye.